it's Danny from Danny Horse Girl, and today me and my mom are going to be vlogging in the barns, so let's go.
So I woke up last night at about 2:30 a.m. just panicked. I woke up right awake and I was like, oh my gosh, the fillies are just gonna walk over their fence if we get any more snow. It is so out of control. So we're gonna have to think of a new option for them because they're literally will be able to walk out of their fence soon, which I'll show you guys once I get down to the barn. And it's just so bad. Danny spent the night at a friend's last night, but I wanted to kind of bring you guys along with to do chores this morning and show you what we got going on because it's so bad. Also, when I woke up last night, it was pouring rain. So not only have we gotten a ton of snow, but we've just gotten so much weird weather. So at 2 a.m. last night, it was literally downpouring rain. So then all I could think about was, oh my gosh, the horses are outside, it's pouring down rain. It was just a very traumatic night last night for me. So I'm gonna go out there and make sure everybody's okay, and then we're gonna set up the barns to bring them in and leave them in for the night again tonight, and go from there, I guess. And we'll just have to see. We're supposed to get another 10 inches of snow between tonight and tomorrow. So we have like an actual blizzard warning going on. So it's just been difficult. So since Danny has gone to a friend's house, I'm doing her chores for her. Poor little duckies, I'll need their water broken. And honestly guys, this is probably like one of like a dozen times I've had to do chores for her. She's really good about doing her chores herself and actually freaks her out when other people do her chores for her. So I'm gonna go ahead and get them fed. Their fence is so close to them just being able to walk over it. We will be able to put a wire up on those caps. So that's probably what I'm gonna do this week. But you'll see it's probably just about waist deep on me and to the top of the snow where it's packed down. They don't really come over here and bother it at all. You can see they kind of just have their path that they've been using. But it's just getting out of control. The snow has got to stop. They don't even want to come out of their house today. I don't blame them. Oh look, she's shoveling. So because of this, we're gonna start bringing the fillies in every night, just because I would hate for them to get out in the middle of the night or something like that. At least during the day, you can see if they're out and things like that. But at night when everybody's sleeping, I just think that it's gonna be safer for them to be inside at night. So we're gonna start doing that tonight, and then they'll be in every night from here until the snow starts to melt a little bit more. Sorry, I'm not really like crying. That's just, if you haven't ever been in the snow, like your eyes just water when you're in the snow and cold and wind. So, all right, I'm gonna go bring the steers in and set up their grain, and then we're gonna go set up the big barn for the horses to come in tonight. So I thought I was just gonna, you know, easily walk into the barn. It's frozen. The door's frozen. Okay, didn't have the mic on, so here is me doing my voiceover for the cattle. So we do our own home blend of grains for the dairy cattle. They get that mix topped with black oil sunflower seeds, and then we add in water because it makes it a little bit more palatable for them. So that is what they get. Someday maybe we can have Christy talk about what's in that recipe if anybody's interested. So now I'm gonna let the cattle in to get their morning grain. Come on, guys. Penny, Penny, slow down. Oh, Penny. Penny. Penny, get. Penny's kind of a brat. Sorry, wiggly camera. Come on. Hi, Nora. So I just came out to throw out their hay. Nobody's shivering, so everybody looks really good. They are all visibly wet, so they're definitely going to be staying inside tonight. None of them appear to be wet down to the skin, so that's really good. And I'll double check that while I'm out there throwing out their hay, but yeah. Okay, so I did double check everybody out there. They're all doing good. Nobody's shivering yet. Nobody's wet all the way down to the skin. But we will be bringing them in tonight because this is only supposed to get worse. So we actually have sawdust this time for our stalls, so that's really great. But we don't use as much sawdust as everybody else uses, and there's a few reasons for that. We have super thick mats in the stalls, so they don't have any problems like getting lame standing on cement all night. And not to say that it couldn't happen, because it could, and if it ever did, then we would definitely use more sawdust or add more mats if we had one particular horse with that problem. Currently, right now on our farm, we don't have that problem, and our horses stay inside so infrequently that it doesn't make sense to have that much sawdust in our stalls at all times. So what we do, and in the past, I had an old horse. She was the best horse that I've ever had, and she was 34. So she got a whole bag of sawdust in her stall because she was old, you know, and it was harder for her to stand on the cement and things like that. So I'm not gonna say that I would never use a whole bag of shavings or several bags of shavings in a stall, because I would. And there are times, like at shows, when Doc is gonna be inside for days and stuck in a stall for days, he gets 2 bales of sawdust. So that's just kind of the reason and the why for why we don't use that much shavings in our stalls every single time, because for us there's really no need for it. So they get a good layer of sawdust in their stalls, and I sweep it back away from where they eat, because I don't like them to like try to be eating sawdust while they're trying to eat their grain. I don't know, it's just my own little thing. So out of all of our horses, Special is the messiest eater, and she also paces in her stall. She always has. She is not a horse who likes to be in a stall, and so, I mean, she's not bad paces. She doesn't like kick or act crazy or anything like that. She just walks in circles. She goes and looks out her window, comes back around, looks over her door, turns around, goes back and looks over her window. And she will settle down and calm down once she's been in for a while, but she just doesn't like it. So Special always gets a hay bag when she's in. Comment down below if you have a horse or know of a horse that is super messy in their stall, and some tips and tricks that you've used to try and help combat that. Like Special always has to have extra shavings, and Special always has to have a hay bag in her stall so she doesn't make a mess of all of her hay. So comment down below, because we want to know. Okay, most of you also know that we use the HayChic's hay nets. for pretty much everything hay related. Well, right now we can't because our hay boxes are melted and we're out of round bales and all those kinds of things. So for the big herd, when they're eating outside, they just eat off the ground. But these HayChic hay nets, I'm telling you, they're amazing. And no, we're not sponsored. I just love them, and I think that it's important to share products that you love. So with the HayChic hay nets, they're super easy to put on. I always leave the twine on the bale when I'm putting them on, and then I slide them on like so. And then I cut the twine and pull out the amount. So I'm just gonna pull out what Special needs for the night. I gotta find my knife. So you have to be very careful when cutting the twines though, because you don't want to actually cut your net. So you have to be kind of careful, because speaking from experience, it's easy to cut the nets. All right, so I do that, and then I pull the strings back a little bit out of the way. And if I was using 2 hay nets, I actually put both hay nets on and then cut the twines, because it just makes it easier. But so now I'm gonna take it and flip it off the top of the hay bale. And then all you have to do is grab your strings and pull it tight. And your hay bag's full. So then you see the little rubber piece there? That's supposed to fall there. So you want the rubber end right up close to the net like that. And now I'll show you quick how to tie it. So you got the rubber end tied up to the net, and then you lay the rope across your hand, bring the rope behind your hand so that, you know, it's looped around. And then I twist my hand and create a hole. So then it's basically just like this, essentially. And then you put it over the rubber stopper and pull it tight. And that's it. Thanks for your help, Maeve. So I have never had the horse untie them here. And I've had them knock them down, pull them off, and all that good stuff. But you want these strings hanging loose, because you don't want the horse's feet or whatever to get tangled in it. So you leave those hang loose. Some people tuck them up in the nets, but I just find that they can just hang down because they're just gonna fall out of the net anyway. And then you hang it, the hay bag, by this little carabiner. And believe it or not, I've had more horses get the carabiner open, and I've never had a horse untie the end. So then you just take it to your stall. And you hang it up. So our carabiners actually fit on our bars that we have in our stalls. I do, however, hang it off of this bucket rack in this particular stall. So they will unclip it here, but I've never had them untie it here. So they're pretty much relatively safe, even if they do drop them or get them on the ground somehow. And there's no big holes that they can get their, I know a lot of the big issues with hay nets is they can get their feet caught or things like that. Shoes, sure, maybe they could get a shoe stuck in the netting part, but it's pretty unlikely. And if it does, this stuff will, like, it's very sturdy, but it would break. Like if a horse got their shoe stuck in this, it would break right off. So yeah, and I've had horses walking on the nets before, laying on the ground. I've had them, you know, do all kinds of things with them, and they're very safe. So, but that's the important part, is that you want these strings hanging down, and the clip, you clip to something. So, it does fit on our bars. So on some of the stalls, like for the bigger horses, we'll clip them to the bars like this and let them hang down. And then for the minis and stuff. And then for the minis, we have hooks that are lower to the ground for them so that they can reach them. Or like this one I'll use for the minis, so it's lower for them so they're not grabbing at it. So that is my little HayChics story. All right, so now that I got the hay out for the horses, I'm going to set up their grain. So change of plans. Since I've been out here in the barn, it keeps getting worse and worse and worse outside. So since they're all soaking wet, I'm just sitting here thinking, they need to come in. So I'm gonna bring them in now. We're gonna leave them in all during the day today. They can eat their grain, eat their hay, have some water, all that good stuff. And then at afternoon chores, we will go ahead and kick them out for a little while, clean their stalls, fill up more hay and everything, and then bring them back in if need be. I think it's supposed to be a high of like 8 degrees tomorrow. So I think that's the best option for them for right now. You can kind of see outside the wind whipping around through the fields. I mean, even you can't see that well, but it is pretty bad. This whole stall was empty when I let these guys out about 10 minutes ago. Oh, you can see the wind whipping there. And the snow is blowing right in, so these guys all have to come in too. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that going. So clearly I made the right decision letting them in. Nobody's shivering still, but look at them. You guys saw when I was putting out hay, none of them were this ice covered, and just with that wind picking up in the last hour, they're really a wreck. And then when I opened the door, look at the ice in the tails, when I opened the door to let him in, poor Doc wasn't even eating. He said, forget this, I'm not standing in that cold. So that's why he doesn't have as much ice on him. He's a smarty pants. Look at poor Nikki. She who never stands inside, she is just covered in ice. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish getting things set up in the little barn now, and we will be back later on today and Danny can finish the vlog. So we'll see you guys later. So we're going to go pick up Danny and get her home. Truck. Oh look, there's a truck. So I would never really advise driving in this unless you absolutely have to. We absolutely have to go get Danny. So we're going to get her and just taking our time. And I'm sure you guys are getting sick and tired of seeing snow, but you are not as sick and tired of seeing snow as we are. So let's go get Danny.
Okay, so my gloves stuck. I'm gonna go get my water for my goats, and we'll begin my barn chores. Come on, Jack. It's a beautiful day out today. Not. Water done. We got probably 4 or 5 inches of, about 4 or 5 inches of snow just today, and it's only 4 o'clock, so only more to come. Yeah. Let's go shovel that out. I can't get this bucket through the door. Crap. I'll be right back, guys. This is what happens to a bucket when you leave it outside all summer long. What it's supposed to look like, what it does look like. It's supposed to look like, does look like. Okay, I'm gonna start shoveling this out, so wish me good luck. Come on, guys, let's go in, because it is cold out. Come on, Jack. So, if you guys have been following me for a while, past couple weeks, you will know that it's been terrible out. So today we had another big storm, and it is cold, windy, and nasty. And in my barn, I have lots of metal. And when it's cold, the metal gets cold. When you have a glove that looks like this, your fingers get cold. And this is what this glove looks like. This one's better, but it still has a few dings in it. I love these gloves. They're like my favorite gloves, and I'm sad that I'm losing them. But I'm going to get a new pair of them. Hate snow. So I'm going to show you how I organize my feed in my barn, because as you guys know, my barn is really tiny and I have to have feed for my animals. So where do I store all that feed, right? Let's get on with that. Snow's coming in here. I don't want it to come in here. My ribbons are flapping in the wind. If you guys weren't here for August, these were the ribbons that we won with my goats for one fair. And then we have 2 more, but Gwen has them. So those are Grand Reserve only. We got nothing else other than Grand Reserve because I have amazing goats. So let's get on with the buckets. Not the buckets, but so this is my feed. I keep these to make hay bags. I'll show you how to I'll make a video on how to make these bags because I love making these bags. Hay bags, they're so fun. So I'll make a video on how to make those. Okay, so these are my feed bags that I have. And this is for my goat grain, then my duck grain, and then garbage. So under, I had some pretty flimsy bags. Last time I got them feed, so I got this thing and I put it over it so it wouldn't break or anything like that. And I've had a squirrel in it for a while, so there, so the squirrel wouldn't eat it. So this is goat grain. So now I'm going to get this stuff situated. So let's move on with that. So normally my barn doesn't actually look like this. Here, that's just because I move stuff around. And these buckets aren't even supposed to be here. They're supposed to be at the barn. But, so let's begin. too. But I will be getting Neutrina, most likely, or Purina. So normally I don't feed more, but that's what they had. And I went to a friend's house and I asked my mom to get me Purina, but she got me Do More. That's the main reason why that happened. Okay, so here is the Coke crate filled to the brim, and then here is the duck ranch, the brim, and garbage. Not filled to the brim. So I want you guys to tell me if I should make a grain bag, hay bag, how-to video. So you guys tell me that if you want to see that. And I don't know. And so we have lots of snow and it's nasty. So guys, that was my video for this week. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Check out my Instagram at _DMwear. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye.